The PGA Tour just stopped the final round of the Rocket Classic before a single ball was struck, and the explanation they gave is not holding up. At 12:11 in the morning on August 2nd, 2026, officials in Detroit tore up the normal Sunday format entirely. Tee times got ripped up and moved. Threesomes replaced twosomes. Players went off two different tees at the same time. This is happening on the single deepest leaderboard this tournament has ever produced, in the final Rocket Classic that will ever exist. And the tour wants you to believe it's only about rain. Golf fans looked at the actual forecast and are not buying it for a second. Before we get into why fans are furious, hit like and subscribe, and I want your take in the comments before you watch the rest of this. Was this the right call, or did the tour just hand this tournament away? Let's start with what actually happened on the course, because Saturday set the trap that Sunday's schedule change sprang. Davis Riley shot a 7-under 63 to reach 15 under for the week. He closed with back-to-back birdies on the 17th and 18th, the two hardest holes on the redesigned course. The 17th, once a par 5, is now a brutal long par 4, the toughest test on the property, and Riley drained a 54-foot putt there before pumping his fist on 18. "I'm just super excited for the opportunity tomorrow," he said afterward. He added that he was grateful and that he'd started to put things together heading into the final round. One shot back sits Michael Brennan, 24 years old, who fired a 64 to reach 14 under. He played Saturday alongside Ricky Fowler, the player he idolized growing up, and responded by taking the lead for most of the afternoon. He nearly holed a wedge from 85 yards on 13. His only blemish came at the last, a bogey that let Riley slide past him. Asked what a maiden win would mean, Brennan smiled. "It would be awesome," he said, then quieter. "It would be great." But the round of the day belonged to Rasmus Højgaard. He barely made the cut at 3 under, then went out and shot a bogey-free 61, 9 birdies, 0 mistakes, jumping roughly 60 spots on the leaderboard in a single afternoon. He had an 11-foot putt on 18 for a 60, which would have been the first in the golf course's history. It slid by on the right. "Today I stayed present," Højgaard said. "I didn't get ahead of myself." Then simply, "That's the game plan for tomorrow." That 61 tied the course record for the third straight day. Peter Malnati on Thursday, Cameron Young on Friday, Højgaard on Saturday. 3 different players, 3 different days, the exact same number, on a golf course that just underwent a $16.1 million renovation. Meanwhile, several Saturday leaders went the wrong direction. Patrick Fishburne, part of the 36-hole lead, followed rounds of 64 and 66 with a 74 and fell to 6 under. Malnati backed up his own 61 with a 71 and a 74. Cameron Young dropped to 12 under with a 68. Here's the leaderboard fans are staring at heading into Sunday. Riley leads at 15 under. Brennan sits second at 14. Tied for third at 12 under are Højgaard, Chris Kirk, Ricky Fowler, and Cameron Young. 17 players sit within 5 shots of the lead with 18 holes left to play. This was shaping up to be one of the most stacked final round leaderboards the Rocket Classic has ever produced. 4 top 10 players in the world, 8 from the top 20, more than half the field from the top 100. And that's exactly why the schedule announcement hit like a gut punch. The official word from PGA Tour Communications: due to forecasted storms and rain overnight and into Sunday morning, tee times for the final round of the Rocket Classic will run from approximately 10:45 a.m. to 12:45 p.m. ET, groups of 3 off nose 1 and 10. Play is targeted to finish by 5:45 p.m. No leisurely 5-hour Sunday broadcast window, no twosomes down the stretch, no room for drama to breathe. Just a compressed, defensive block designed to survive the worst version of the forecast. Here's where fans started pushing back. The PGA Tour's own meteorologist, Stuart Williams, projected 1 to 3 inches of rain and an 80% chance of precipitation, built around a low-pressure system tracking in from Indiana and Ohio. But local Detroit forecasters read the same sky differently. Brian Sherman of Local 4 pointed to heavier rain chances Saturday night, easing off by Sunday. Ashley Barisic of Div wrote that Sunday brings only a slight shower chance and mainly dry conditions. In other words, the tour planned for a monsoon, and the neighborhood weatherman is talking about a stray sprinkle and a high in the upper 70s. That gap is exactly what's fueling the anger in the comments. If the forecast was really that split, was the format change actually about safety? Or was it about squeezing a photogenic finish into a tight afternoon window before Rocket Companies walks away from the sport entirely? Because that's the part making this sting even more. This is the final Rocket Classic in history. Rocket declined its option for 2027 after 13 years as title sponsor, 8 in Detroit, 5 before that under the Quicken Loans banner. The company cited the tour's shifting schedule, the incoming two-tier model arriving in 2028, sagging attendance, and struggles landing marquee fields. A problem this year's leaderboard makes almost laughable, given it's arguably the best field this event has ever hosted. Nick Barlage, CEO of Rocket Entertainment Group, softened the blow by calling it a bit of a pause, insisting the company isn't giving up on golf. The replacement event lands at Silverado Resort in Napa starting in 2027, before shifting to an undisclosed venue in 2028 under the new championship series. Rocket has already said it wants no part of the new model's second-tier challenger circuit. So picture it from a fan's seat, the last ever edition of your tournament, the deepest field it's ever drawn, a golf course that just got a $16 million facelift specifically so it could host more of these events. And the tour compresses the final round into a 2-hour launch window based on a forecast the local news doesn't fully believe. If the rain does show up, here's what actually happens under tour rules. Lightning halts play immediately. Standing water on greens does too. Standard procedure is to sit out the cell and resume the same day. Sunset in Detroit isn't until 8:50 p.m., which leaves plenty of daylight in reserve. Only a total washout forces a Monday finish, and in 7 previous playings of this event, that has never happened once. Officials can also invoke preferred lies if fairways get saturated, and soft greens tend to reward high-spin iron players while erasing the roll that favors the longest hitters. Translation: rain doesn't just change the schedule, it can quietly change who wins. And under the new format, the leaders still go off last, meaning if the storm does arrive late, it's Riley, Brennan, and Højgaard who will be playing directly into it, while the group ahead of them, Kirk, Fowler, and Young, gets the calmer window. So is this actually about protecting the field, or about protecting a broadcast slot on a network that doesn't want live golf running into prime time? Tell me your read in the comments. As for who wins the last Rocket Classic ever, my pick is Davis Riley, with real reservations. He's got the lead and the momentum from those closing birdies on 17 and 18, but he has to hold off a 24-year-old in Brennan who has absolutely nothing to lose, with the world number 3, Cameron Young, teeing off in the group directly ahead of him. Does the final champion in Rocket Classic history end up being a first-time winner? Or does Ricky Fowler, who won this exact event in 2023, close the loop right where he last lifted a trophy? Subscribe as we push toward more subscribers, and drop your prediction below before the final group tees off.